First of all, first thing I noticed, all of the women look great. The hair and makeup team did very well for all of the ladies. They all look great. They all look very well, you know, rested and refreshed and ready to take down Krystal. Let's get into it. So we open up with glam shaming, and I was excited for that because I thought that it was going to be like a really like comedic, fun little, you know, couple of minutes of this show. It wasn't, okay? Because Marique was really offended by it. Chelsea was hella annoyed that Marique was still offended by it. And then like Brittany came cocked and loaded. Like she was ready for Marique. Every time Marique spoke up, she just was like, no, it's not a big deal. It's not a thing. Calm down. Like really coming for her. And it turned something that I thought was so like, was not that deep, but just like, you know, cute little after the credits Bachelor comedy. They made it so intense. And I was like, guys, this was the perfect opportunity to have a light moment in this dramatic show. And they started off with glam shaming and went way left with it. Poor Marique, I can't believe that she really was like offended by that. I'm like, girl, you are too smart to be playing so dumb. This is not going to work for you, honey. Sorry, you don't have the look to play dumb and be accepted in America. Let's be real here. You can't play that up. It's just not going to work. I agree with Brittany, but I also agree with Chelsea. For all of them, it's not that deep. Then we get into TT and Baby Becca. And Baby Becca, rightfully so, was hurt by TT because she was just saying, like, I don't need a big sister and I didn't need you coming for me and trying to tell me what I needed to hear because I was 22 and that I wasn't ready. She was just like, I'm a mature woman. I know what I'm doing. I knew what I was getting myself into. Maybe you were there, but I wasn't. And that's okay. Like, you did not have to go behind my back and talk to Ari. And then she was just like, from someone who consistently dates horrible men, I don't think I should be taking any advice from you. Let me tell you something. Baby Becca, she got cut from the show and she went home and she studied after she left that pot farm. She came down off that high and she went home and she studied. She studied each and every one of these ladies because she was ready with her reads. She read TT for filth, and I love my TT, but them reads that Baby Becca was giving her, I was like, ooh, that one hurt me. Like, Baby Becca was ready because after she snatched TT's wig, she turned to Krystal and she went right after Krystal. Like, Baby Becca was ready. I don't know if anybody else was ready, but Baby Becca was ready. Speaking of my girl TT, I get it, right? Like, when Baby Becca was like going after her, some girl who I don't remember ever being on the show started to defend TT, and I can understand. Like as a woman, right? We knew where she was coming from. The women who watch the show, we get it. She felt like there was somebody who was not there for the right reasons or not in a place where she was with a man that she was considering to be her husband, right? However, the way she did it was so shady that nobody could really defend that, because you're coming behind her and you're talking about her negatively to Ari and saying she's not ready, saying she's too young and all this stuff. Then you're going back to her and saying, I'm saying this as your big sister, when you're not being the big sister. You know what I mean? That's your competition and you're taking her out. I think people would have respected TT more if she would have been like, listen, I've been around this girl. She's not ready. I'm here for love. If you're not here for love and you're just here to have a good time, go. Because I'm not playing with my heart. And I don't want you playing with somebody who I think that I could be the best choice that he has to pick here. And you're over here playing games. I would have respected that. We all would have respected that. But when you threw that big sister in and you're looking out, nah, we can't rock with you. Like, we all, like, I felt her when she was just like, I was here for Ari for the right reasons. She wasn't. Okay. Okay, and even if she would have went after her in that way, but it's the fact that you made it seem like you were looking out for Baby Becca when you were just looking out for yourself. That's where you lost everybody, Ma. That's where you lost. Then we get to Krystal, who oddly enough has lost her toddler voice. She's speaking in a very deep, like, low registry, and she's also speaking from a very, like, elevated intellect. Like, the way she's speaking and the way she's putting her sentences together and her rebuttals, I'm like, Krystal, you should have showed Ari this side. You probably still would have been there. You know what? I don't know. Because he really fell for that dumb baby doll kind of, you know, persona she was portraying. So I don't know. He probably would have cut her if she showed her true self. So good for you, girl. You played the role and you were able to stay longer than you probably would have had you revealed who you really were. A lot of the women were saying, off camera, Krystal, we loved. It's when the cameras got turned on that she became somebody else. And speaking of the cameras being turned off, When she did not think she was being filmed, we got more of her meltdown. And I wish they would have showed all of this and that cookie cutter meltdown that they gave us, because Miss Krystal went in on all aspects of Ari, including his penis, which lets me know that I was right, that he hit when he took her back home to visit his parents in Arizona, because she kept on going off about that penis and how tiny. Girl, it got messy. Why did they put that in? Like, we needed to see all of that. And even Chris Harrison was just like, oh no, we cut out some stuff. Like, that's not the whole thing. There was more. And I'm like, y'all need to give us this. Like, make this show interesting, especially because you gave us such a boring Bachelor. So Carolyn found her voice as well as her camera angles. Because although I felt for her, I felt like she was playing it up a bit. I really did. I felt like she was laying it on a bit thick. She kept on crying about a lot of things. She kept on crying because Krystal was calling, because Krystal called the other lady, see you next Tuesdays. And you know, maybe it's because I'm black. I don't really get offended by that word at all. You know, like, my gay friends say it all the time. And that's why I thought it was a gay word. I didn't know that it was a slur against women. I don't know, right? But I just didn't feel like what Carolyn was talking about warranted all of those emotions and her crying and voice shaking. I felt like, okay, you found your light, you found your moment, and you're gonna milk it. I'm not hating. Just dial it back a bit, because when it becomes too much, you turn us off. However, I think she earned a spot in paradise. I don't think she's gonna be a bachelorette, but she's gonna make it to paradise. Good for you, girl. So Olivia, who I did not recognize because of that crochet wig, I was like, who is this person? I literally had to go to the Bachelor website and look her up, and I was like, oh, okay. One thing that I have noticed about the black women who come on this show, once they leave like Bachelor Nation, they go back to their like ethnic selves and start having like hairstyles that, you know, we wear in our community, because all of the women on this show, so especially the sisters, came with these press weaves. And then once you see them like out and about at like other events, or, you know, on a different aspect or a different show promoting The Bachelor, they got braids, they got crochet wigs. It's like they leave the Bachelor Nation and go back to like their local hairstylist to be like, girl, just give me the best bump and curl you got. Because I was just like, Olivia, where was this crochet wig on Ari's season? Although I didn't recognize Olivia at first, I'm glad she spoke up, because she was the only one who said what we all wanted to know. Like, why is your voice different now, Krystal? And then Krystal gives this whack excuse that she lost her voice. And Chris Harrison was like, you lost your voice for 6 weeks, and then baby Becca just exposed her. She was like, come on, Krystal, it was your sexy voice. And Krystal just cracked up, because we all know that that's what she was doing. Ain't nobody hating. All women have it. All women have this sexy voice that we use to either entice men or scam them. It's the same voice. And although Krystal acted a plum fool, I'm glad that her presence was able to get her brother back into, you know, her family home and get him the help that he needed, because there's obviously something going on if you're choosing to live on the streets and you do have a home to go to. So I'm glad that that worked out in her favor, and I felt all of the women really applauded that and was happy that that happened for her. And I respected the women even more, because Krystal was terrible to them, but they were so happy that she still received a blessing. Ari got a good batch of women to pick from for this show. He got the women that maybe Bachelor Nation deserves, but I don't think he deserved them. Those amazing women deserved so much better. So much better. And our girl Cian is up on the couch talking to Chris Harrison, and she's such a class act. She was just like, listen, I was hurt when Ari cut me because I thought that we were so far ahead. Then she said, but I watched the show and I realized we didn't progress like other relationships, so I became okay with that. That was such an honorable thing to say, because she could have got up there and just been like, oh, you kissed me, you led me on, you did all these things to me and made me feel like we were okay. But she was just like, you know what? I watched the show and I realized we weren't where he was at with other people, and that's okay. And I appreciated her for that. And also, I feel like this interview on the couch with Chris Harrison and Cian, I felt like for Cian, this was a Bachelorette like interview. Like not the first interview. I felt like we were in the second or third round of Bachelorette interviews for her, and she held it together. Didn't she have a much better personality on this episode? Like, she was very bright. She was talking to other people. She was connecting. She was laughing. She was flipping her hair. She was saying that she is ready for love and men shouldn't be intimidated to apply. Okay, Cian, I see what you're doing and I'm here for it. I think she's going to be our next Bachelorette, because I thought it was going to be TT, but TT for me in this episode, I feel like they were kind of giving her the villain edit a bit. And I don't know, for me, I just felt like her chances of being the Bachelorette were like falling, especially when she had the interaction with baby Becca. And one more thing, did you guys notice how Chris Harrison was just staring at CN? Like, he just got lost in her beauty. And I was looking at him like, bro, don't risk it all. Down, boy. Down, boy. Talk to baby Becca, who was in the mountains high as a kite, and Chris was trying to like get the whole full story, and she was like, listen, I was at a pot farm in the mountains with my friends. I was high. I didn't call my parents. It is what it is. But we got some good news from her, and that is that she will be on Bachelor in Paradise. So I'm excited to see her making a transition. I feel like she's going to be in a lot of these little Bachelor like off the cuff shows, and I feel like she's really going to make this make the rounds in the Bachelor Nation, which is good. And I feel like when she's ready, we might get her as the Bachelorette, because the audience really love baby Becca. So I'm interested in seeing a more mature baby Becca going out for the Bachelorette. Why not? So speaking of her age, I'm glad she addressed it, and I'm glad she also called out the other women who were just a year older than her, and not called them out, but was just like, Kendall has made it to the end and she's a year older than me. Like, this isn't fair. Why am I being made out to be so immature when I'm holding myself better than the older women in the show? And I agree with her. However, baby Becca, you have to know, like I said before, this is the name of the game. This information to the producers. They crafted your storyline of, because you're the youngest person there, that you were going to be the baby of the show, and it was going to be a conflict with you and Ari, especially because it's just rumors, but it is, you know, they say the word on the street is he got a little something for, you know, college girls. You can't be mad at the storyline that was crafted for you when you're on a show that does these kind of things. Like, if you've never watched Bachelor or The Bachelorette before, then I can totally understand. If you're familiar with the show, then you know that's how it goes, girl. Let's not play dumb. Let's not play dumb. Then we get to TT, who gives her Bachelorette audition. Though I thought that CN had it, I'm kind of getting a bit shook, because TT was giving us the tears. TT was giving us the emotion. TT was saying that she was ready for love and that she thought it was with Ari. So I don't know. Are we looking for a bright, fun, like educated, well-traveled Bachelorette, or are we looking for a heartbroken woman who we want to see a redeemable story from? We want her to find love because she was heartbroken by The Bachelor. Like, the Midwest could really see themselves in this girl. Like, is that the Bachelorette we're going for, or are we going for this one? I don't know. CN might be too similar to Rachel, because Rachel was another person who was very well-traveled, very well-educated, also bright and fun. If we're going to switch it up and go with TT or CN, either way, I'd be happy for both, but I feel like CN probably has it in the bag because, one, Chris Harrison is in love with her, and two, could you imagine at the end where the guy that she picks gets down on one knee, proposes to her, and says to her, let's create the fairy tale that you deserve? Guys, we would all have a collective ugly cry. So I'm thinking that CN still got it in the bag, but I don't know, because TT was pulling hard in this one-on-one with her and Chris Harrison. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below who you think would be the next Bachelorette. Then Ari comes out and everybody goes like crazy. The whole audience is going wild, and I'm like, the producers told you guys to do that, because Bachelor Nation was not excited about Ari. Although he did look good. This is the best he's ever looked. Like, he looked good one time when he was in Tuscany, and I felt like they did his makeup really well, but he looked really good on this show. TT asked Ari, like, what was it? You know what I mean? She was just like, you picked somebody who you weren't sure about. And then Chris Harrison was just like, because he told TT when she sat down with him that Ari came to him and said that he thought he made a mistake. So TT was all in her head like, why? It doesn't matter, girl, he didn't pick you. But Ari is just like, I just felt like I had something stronger with Kendall than I did with you. And TT, the bottom line is, sweetie, it was your ghetto family. Let's be real here. We talk real here. It was your family, honey. Ari, upper class Ari, did not want to marry into that. He did not want to be associated with that, to be honest here. There are a lot of us who have been interested in somebody, you know, met their families and was just like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this bloodline. It happens. I don't think it's him being like uppity or anything like that. I just think that he felt like he could be more comfortable with Kendall's family or Lauren's family, and maybe your family was too much of a stretch, especially with that brother who looks like he cooks meth. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. What was he in prison for? Meth. Then Ari says that he passed on baby Becca because of her age. No duh. But I feel like Ari knew her age before he even started making out with her. And I think, again, word on the street, his MO is, young college girls, and I felt like he was attracted to her because all of their conversations never happened because they were kissing the whole time. He was physically attracted to her, and I think that's why he kept her on, but he knew. And that's the one thing I don't like about Ari. I feel like he knows, because he says it in his confessionals, like he knows the women that he's not connecting with, but he'll still keep them around. He'll still make out and be physical with them and then cut them later. But he'll have his fun before he cuts them. And I don't like that, because I feel like that's exactly what he did with baby Becca. He was never going to pick her, but he wanted to keep her around to just, you know, fondle her in a sense. Not in a sense, yeah, he fondled her. It happened. We watched it. Reluctantly. Then the ham of the show, Carolyn, comes back around and she comes for Ari. Although I felt like she was milking it, I'm glad she spoke up, because she said something that made me very intrigued about next week's episode. Because she said to him, I know what you did and I don't like it. You don't have to say anything to me, but I know what you did. And Ari like tried to talk to her. She's like, you don't gotta apologize to me. You don't have to, no. Just know that I didn't like it. So baby, whatever he did, we're gonna find out next week. And I think we are not going to like Ari. Oh gosh, Ari, man, we didn't like you to begin with, so why give us ammo? Then we get this Ari and Krystal showdown, and let me tell you something. Ari came ready for, everybody came ready for Krystal, because Krystal was making this big deal about how she was really falling for him and she was dating him and she didn't like how he was taking his word back and she was mad and all of this stuff. And Ari was just like, but you're on The Bachelor. Like that's what the show was about. Like everything he said to her was just correct, it was calm, and it was to the point. Krystal was being erratic, like giving him all of this, and Ari was just sitting there just like, yeah, but you said terrible things. But you were a horrible person. Like, he just came right at her and didn't feel any kind of way. Actually, he looked kind of annoyed when she started walking up to the couch because she asked to come up there, and Chris was like, sure. And I think that she's going to be on Paradise as well. I don't think that this franchise is going to let her go. I think she's always going to have a life somewhere on The Bachelor, whether it be Paradise or Winter Games or whatever kind of different sect of Bachelor that they have going on. Krystal is definitely going to be a part of it. I see her having a long life in Bachelor Nation. So then after Ari gets Krystal together, we get into the bloopers. But before we get into the bloopers, I want to say this. Ari getting Krystal together made him so likable. And as he was like reading Krystal for filth, I was just looking at him like, the audience is loving you right now. Everybody is loving you. But I cannot get out of my mind Carolyn, what she said to him and how all the other women reacted to whatever he did. I was just like, you know what, Ari, you better enjoy this, milk this, take it in, baby, do whatever you need to do, because next week we all gonna hate you. We all gonna hate you. From the women's reactions alone, I knew he did something hard. Now we finally get to the bloopers, and I say this every time. I wish they would leave a lot of this stuff in, especially when it's concerning Ari, because Ari was so interesting in the bloopers, aside from them beeps. That was a little creepy. But aside from that, he was so interesting and so much fun. So I just don't know. I wish we would have seen more of that. I said the same thing on Rachel's season, but they gave us something. Ari was just so stoic, and we couldn't like really latch on to him as somebody we were interested in. But the bloopers, I was just like, this guy is interesting. Why didn't y'all edit him like this? That's where it ends, but don't go away. Stay tuned, because my Bachelor review should be somewhere around here or here. I don't know. It's going to be somewhere in this vicinity. I'm going to put it up here. So check it out and let me know what you think about this review in the comment section below. And then go and check out my Bachelor review. See you guys soon. Bye.